This property we bought it subject to. So similar to what Dominic did, but a little different. This borrower actually originally wanted to do a lease option. So lease option, if you guys will notice, is not one of the 4 topics we're covering right now. We wanted to share 4 that I'm the most passionate about and to share with you. But a lease option means they want to give you some control, but without changing ownership. As we spoke with this seller, we were able to find out their needs. That's why, as Eric's yawning, the 10 things that you got to get objections from with the seller, we need to understand that up front. If you are finding out what the objections are with the seller and give them solutions, then they'll give you what you want, right? Super important. How is this found? One real estate investor took a KSL boot camp again, and he actually called a property management company. He got this referral from a property management company. The sellers were moving out of state to Arizona. They wanted to manage the property. This property needed a lot of work. The property manager, so this is important for Kristen, the property manager took the deal on the side, didn't end up property managing the property. He wanted a quick $2,000, brought it to the client just like you guys are on this call right now. He's like, Matt, I got this deal from calling KSL, which is awesome. So here's 3 different people you can buy properties from that are professionals. Number 1, property managers, okay? They control or manage a lot of properties. Number 2, real estate agents. They have a lot of exposure to properties. Number 3, my favorite, is other real estate investors. I've bought more properties from other real estate investors than not real estate investors, just based on relationships I've been developed or are developing. Just like with, as of right now, there's 52 of you guys still on the phone, right? So we got this property. So how did it work? The property manager wanted $2,000. The real estate investor wanted $3,000. And guess who wanted the property? Me, right? You guys could have. So what we did, we bought the property with subject to. What does the subject to means? So an all-inclusive deed of trust, I'm going to give you guys some differences, and I'm going to share more about this on the 17th, which is an all-day event for all of you guys. There's like only 8 of you guys could show up because we're literally at capacity. So you guys can register online and save your spot. We're going to go over the difference of an all-inclusive deed of trust. An all-inclusive deed of trust, or a wrap, gives more protection to the seller. A subject to means you're deeding the property subject to the existing mortgage. When we're buying properties from sellers, I ask them what concerns they have, or really what they're doing. I don't want to say, hey, Sean, what concerns do you have that it was your birthday this last week? Well, that's not going to go very well. As I find out with Sean, saying, Sean, it was your birthday this last week, and you got some more pepper in your beard. Those abs still look good from Hillcrest, Mr. Hillcrest 1996. How are you feeling about this whole deal? Then he'll give me feedback. Now, if there's nothing that's a concern, I'm not going to go tell him, say, well, I can do an all-inclusive deed of trust here, or I can do a subject to over here. I want to be able to understand what's the easiest for me to help them with, and then we'll draft the documents accordingly. KISS, keep it simple, smarty, right? We want to keep it simple. We don't want to overcomplicate it. So really what it's subject to is you're buying the loan subject to the existing documents. So I'm going to share 5 documents you must have to do this successfully. It doesn't mean you can't do it. We'll share more about this on the 17th, but I just thought of this right now. Here are 5 documents. Number 1, you want to get a copy of the most recent mortgage note. Remember, the mortgage note is the document that explains the terms of the loan. If they happen to get a loan modification, you're going to want to get a copy of that also. Mortgage note. Number 2, the most recent mortgage statement. The most recent mortgage statement will show if they're current or not, what their interest rate is with the note or not. It'll also show if they have taxes and insurance included with the payment. Number 3, you want a copy of the most recent closing disclosure or settlement statement from the last time they purchased or refinanced the house. That document's going to help mirror that you have the right documents. Trust me, I've gotten wrong notes before on properties because people forget they've refinanced or modified. Number 4, you want a copy of the homeowner's insurance declaration page. The homeowner's insurance declaration page will tell you what type of coverage they have. It's a landlord policy, personal property. It also has the information if you had a claim. We have had, let's see, how many fires have we had? Had 3 fires. For electric dryer fire. We've had a couch on fire. Fire, you're a liar. I think there's a rhyme with that. Okay. And then we've had another fire. I'm trying to remember what it's for. We've had five water claims. Okay. So it's important for you guys to know what type of insurance. So number 1's a mortgage note. Number 2 is the mortgage statement. Number 3 is the most recent closing disclosure or settlement statement. Number 4 is the homeowner's insurance declaration page. And number 5, you want to get a copy of a power of attorney when you close. John said, can a subject to be a draft such that it does not look like a sell to the original lender? So John, are you really asking, can we have some anonymity or deceitful possibly? We'll talk about that more on the 17th. So there's different ways to protect the seller to do that. But for this call, I want to make it something like that.
Hey, Matt.
Not deceitful. Yes, Dominic.
I want to jump in here real quick on those documents. Based on what you shared, those are 4. We have a list of a few more that we'll probably be sharing during your class on Saturday. But what I want to also bring up is we've got someone on our call that has done a lot of seller financing deals. And one thing that happens that I've seen for those investors that are progressive and are buying these, at some point in time, you may not want to keep your seller financing deal, and maybe 3 years into it or so, or 2 years into it, you earn equity. And so you're like, okay, I want to sell this deal and maybe assign or transfer my rights of this deal to another investor. And so it's important to have those documents in place. So that way, number 1, you're not having to collect them in the future, because once the seller's done with you, sometimes it's hard to find them. Matt's had sellers pass away and move away, and it's been hard to find them for documents that we don't have on first few deals that he did at the beginning. And so having that list of documents is important, especially if you want to sell that deal to another investor, because we've bought deals that are seller financing that were incomplete because someone didn't have that checklist that MJ Real Consulting has accumulated over time.
Dominic, would you like to take over the presentation?
I could if you wanted me to, but tonight I'm just going to let everybody go ahead and have Matt Atkinson. How about that?
All right. That's good. Thanks for jumping in there. All right. So Brian said, can you expand on a power of attorney? Dave Black, why do you need a power of attorney? Benjamin, you need a POA, which means power of attorney, to assist in future communication with lenders, sellers, or clearing title. So we're only getting a power of attorney specific to that property only. We don't want a general one. We just want it specific to that property. Great. Thanks for jumping in, Major Lakey. So we gave you guys 5 tips. So how was it bought with seller financing?